She's like, why don't you tell her how you feel? I was like, dude, what?
You're like, that's the murder-suicide part.
I was like, okay,
I'll
so
confess.
now it's a double murder-suicide. Congratulations. Who's going to feed the dog? Hello, my little bear cubs, and welcome back to another episode of Secondhand Therapy. We need to remind you that we are not therapists. We are not experts. This is not professional advice. This is not a substitute for therapy. If you want to support us, we'd appreciate it. And you can do so at patreon.com/secondhandtherapypod.
If you are noticing that there are ads now in these episodes, you are correct. You are not having a seizure. You are hearing ads. But if you would like to not hear these ads and have an uninterrupted session with us, check us out on Patreon. They are ad-free episodes, both video and audio on Patreon.
Yep. We also have merch available at secondhandtherapypod@gmail.com. If you want to contact us, you can do so at secondhandtherapypod@gmail.com.
No, you just messed that up.
Hey. The merch is at secondhandtherapypod.com.
Yeah, just email us for merch. I would like a sweatshirt.
You can text us at 818-850-2448. Thank you for being here. We love you.
Enjoy the episode. Buddy, I was getting fucking dragged on the internet.
You weren't. It wasn't that bad.
For you.
It wasn't that bad for you either.
Oh, buddy. I was like waking up to like just a fresh new hell every morning. I felt like.
Why? What was the hell?
Just hateful comments.
Okay. None of them were hateful.
Are you serious? There was
None
one
of
woman
them.
who commented on every video to like go out of her way to dog me.
Okay, there's 3 videos. So
Yeah.
Wow, she did every single one, huh?
Every single one.
They weren't hateful.
That's a direct attack.
Okay. Well, it wasn't hateful. You just were not being praised. And for you, that feels like hate.
It was not. It was more than that. And
It wasn't. But go ahead.
you know that.
It wasn't hateful.
It wasn't hateful.
It wasn't hateful.
People, we'll get into it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was, it felt like exposure therapy for me. It was like, oh, you want to learn how to like not care about what people think about you?
Yeah.
Here's 3 videos back to back to back.
Yeah.
And people are just going to fucking annihilate you.
I don't feel like that happened. It was like a 50-50.
Oh,
I feel like half the people were like, he's being honest. He's telling, and the other half were like, oh, he's a fuckboy for sure.
it was like 70-30, I
No,
feel
it wasn't.
like.
Okay.
Even so, I mean, yeah.
Hey, do you remember how you're constantly telling me, if someone tells you you're being rude, you're being rude.
Yeah.
So now if 10,000 people tell you you're a fuckboy, does that make you a fuckboy?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what we're talking about.
So
That is my perception.
So you're a fuckboy now.
No, that's not. Okay, what
But
I'm
if
saying
people tell you you're a fuckboy, why is it different from
then
me?
I will change my ways.
Oh, that's dumb. But you're not a fuckboy.
No, and that's what I'm here to clarify. Not clarify, but I will say that the feedback that I was getting, the lesson that I learned, one of the lessons that I learned is clarification. I forget sometimes that these conversations that you and I have are based on like 15 years of friendship. You and I know each other. And so when you and I are talking about an issue or a topic or whatever the fuck is going on, I don't feel the need to have to clue you in on like who I am or what I'm about or anything like that. We know each other.
Yeah, I know you're a fuckboy.
And I forget that these people are just fucking eavesdropping on a real conversation we're having. These aren't like staged conversations. These aren't like prepared or anything. This is just you and I bantering. And so what I'm not doing is clarifying the details because I don't.
And I'd like to thank you for that.
Yeah, I know you.
Because if you did, I'd walk off the set.
They would be 8-hour episodes.
Yeah.
But so for somebody who's just peering in to like a 60 second or 90 seconds of our conversation, or even an hour of our conversation,
Yeah.
they don't know who you and I really are. And that is what I'm coming around to the idea of, is like their opinion doesn't matter because they don't really know me. But
Yeah, they only know what you tell them.
and I could do a better job of clarification. And one of the first video that went up was about Snapchat. Now, you and I were busting each other's balls about Snapchat.
Yeah.
What I took away from those comments, that people were like, oh, that's a red flag, and I would never. Hey, I'm not at the bar asking girls for their fucking Snapchat. That's not who I am.
Yeah.
And that's the way it came across, was like, oh, this guy's out in the world. Like, what?
Oh, I didn't think it came across like that.
Oh, that was the majority of the comments were like red flag. If a guy asked me for my Snapchat, that I'm like, I'm not asking anybody for their I have Snapchat.
Mm-hmm.
I've talked to maybe 4 women in the last 5 years on Snapchat, and one of them I was seriously dating.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm not at the bar being like, yo, let me get. First off, I'm not at the bar.
Yeah.
Secondly, I'm not asking for your fucking. Like, what the fuck is that? Clarification is important. And I forget that, like, I know that I'm not doing that. You know that I'm not doing that. We're just busting each other's balls about having the app in general.
So let me ask you.
Yeah.
If you truly don't use it that often,
Yeah.
why keep it?
Because I do have instances where I use it. And the other thing that you and I were talking about off air, I was like, oh, yeah, I wanted to get into that more. It was more so about Snapchat in general, about like, it's not really for me. I have no qualms about like dick pics and things like that. Like,
That's true. Your dick's out there.
Yeah, that goes right to your inbox. I don't give a shit.
It's out there.
But I feel like Snapchat is more, it feels safer for women to exchange those kind of, that kind of talk and that kind of photos and this and that, because it's not a permanent thing. And so I'm engaging with the people who feel safer doing that than sending out a whatever the fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what else I didn't mention on there. So yeah, it came off of the way to be like, well, this guy's at the bar fucking getting Snapchats from girls and this and that. Like,
that's how it came off to some people.
Yeah, but it was...
But not everybody.
Yeah, but it was, again, the clarification that I was like, oh yeah, I guess I could have been more clear. And it came back, that's what I kept coming around to more and more, was that I could have been more clear of 2 things. I could have been more clear. And number 2, I could have been crystal fucking clear, and it could have been a 5-hour episode, and people would still come away with the feelings that they have.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Like, let's say you had clarified, and the same amount of people were still like, oh, red flag.
Yeah.
Then what? Does that change? Do you think that would have changed how you felt?
No, but I'm going to be honest, I had a real hard time staying out of the comments. I really wanted to. There was a couple where I was like, oh, I'm going to defend myself here.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
like what? What did they say? The gist. You don't have to give me the...
Oh, there was multiple comments in there saying like, oh, this guy knows exactly what he's doing. He's manipulating women and all. Like, imagine a world. This is what I wanted to comment. Imagine a world where you've been in nothing but long-term monogamous relationships your entire life, jumping from one to the next, which is also not healthy, but you've been jumping from one long-term monogamous relationship to the next. And now, for the first time in your life, this is the longest you've ever been single, which is only 8 months. It's the longest I've ever been single. Of course, there's going to be overlap. Of course, there's going to be these thoughts of like, oh, this is how you treat somebody. Sometimes they can sleep over. Sometimes there's breakfast. Sometimes there's cuddling, because that is what I know with love and relationships and hookups and all that stuff. It's jumbled into relationship stuff. And so when you're just hooking up, of course there's overlap. And the whole episode was about me stopping that behavior because I see the damage that it's doing and all that stuff. The episode is about the overlap and the recognition of that and the stopping of that behavior. But the clips and the comments were only about that behavior being bad. And it was like, this guy's the fucking worst. And I'm like, listen to the episode.
Yeah.
Please listen to the fucking. And also, like, I'm not doing that to everybody I meet.
Just the women.
Yeah. It happened a couple times.
Yeah.
One was a situationship, and one I was dating somebody, and it started to head down that road, and I put a stop to it before it continued. That's what the episode's about. But the feedback was just like, this guy, people straight up being like, this guy's a liar. Cool. You think I like waking up to fucking comments of people? This guy's a fucking piece of shit. This guy's a liar. He's this. He's a definite fuck boy. Like, hey.
So
what?
After the first video, why keep checking comments?
Oh, come on, bud.
But like, you have full control over this.
I did have to stop. I did stop.
That's good.
I just had to walk away from it. But it did take me a few days.
Yeah.
And I just stopped engaging because it was like, I came to that conclusion of like, no matter what I say or do, it's not going to make a difference.
Yeah.
Their opinion is their opinion. And two, it doesn't matter what their opinion is because I know who I am and I know what I am. So these people that are like you showed me a video the other day of somebody who had like messaged us and was like, oh, this is Malone.
I actually was going to ask you about this.
Yeah.
What your feelings are with somebody in our friend group.
Yeah.
Who we are close with, who has a strong opinion that you're a fuckboy, having known you and knows your long-term ex.
I see them 3 times a year, maybe.
Okay.
So the interactions, I don't think, equate to a proper evaluation.
Because you don't feel you're actually that close with this person.
No, I'd like to be closer. Like, let me just say that because we know who we're talking about. I would love to be closer to this person. Yeah. But right now, like, they don't know all the ins and outs. They get highlights or they get secondhand information kind of things. And so, yeah, it's hard to make judgment calls when that's the information. You know, and so that doesn't, because the video you showed me was way off. Again, it was about like, oh, this guy's manipulating women. Like,
it was a guy talking about himself.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's not what I'm doing.
I don't agree.
You think I'm out there manipulating women?
Not intentionally, but I think that you have, and I think you've. What I think is, I think you've realized that these behaviors that you're changing do cause harm to the women you're seeing.
Yes, absolutely. That part I agree with. I never set out to manipulate women.
I understand.
I never weaponized.
Right. I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about your intent. I'm talking about the impact.
Yes, and that's again what the episode was about. Was I wasn't fully aware of those, the impact. Yeah. It was, and again, not every interaction. It was like, yeah, so that's where I get caught up when people are like, it's never my intention to hurt anybody. Like, fucking duh. Yeah. But like I said in the episode, like, I recognize how some of those behaviors can be misleading because A, I'm new to setting boundaries. And B, I'm not really good at it yet. Because I'm working on a lot of stuff like boundary setting and people pleasing and all these things. Like, yeah, I cave. Yeah. I give in.
So
And I'm trying to get better at that.
I'm going to challenge you here,
Yeah.
and I'm sorry.
Okay.
So what is the answer when the question is, including from your therapist,
Mm-hmm.
why don't you stop doing these things while you learn how to set boundaries and while you make these changes? Like, date yourself, be alone for a while. What is the answer of, because I think that's what begs the question is you're saying I'm doing these things, but you
Yeah.
keep seeing people and then you cave. So I think that begs the question, well, if you can't set the boundaries, why are you still engaging in the behavior?
And I did that at the beginning of the year, and then I started getting out there, and I am doing what the therapist said, where I'm not engaging in the ways that I used to and keeping it short term or being more, not letting it consume me. And that includes DMs too, and like all these things. Like, yes, I am doing those things. I don't feel like I need to cut that off completely and just be, you know, hiding out in a cave for a while and just dating myself kind of thing. Like, I feel like I can find a healthy balance in that and practice those same actions, which will also help me with my boundary setting and my permissions and things like that I also need to work on, that I have been working on with my people pleasing and boundary setting and things. So I think it's a two birds, one stone kind of deal, where it's like, yes, I can give myself the space and not get consumed by, dating, DMs, all the fun stuff, and also be working on boundary setting and people pleasing and not caving. I think it's a good exercise. But I am taking steps where I got rid of all the apps. I'm doing that stuff. So it's like, yes, I am doing some of those things that will. I recognize I shouldn't be on the apps because I'm not necessarily looking for a relationship. So yeah, I am doing it.
I think where you're getting in trouble and why you're catching heat is because the situations that are coming up and that you were discussing and you've been discussing are that you're seeing a woman and they develop feelings, you get the inkling that they're wanting a relationship, and you don't want a relationship. You knew the whole time you didn't want a relationship. Yet when you get the feeling that they do want one, that you're not walking away and you're staying because you enjoy their company as well, which is selfish.
Absolutely. And here's the thing, though. There's a piece of this that I know that they don't know. And
Who's they?
the people commenting or listening or whatever, like,
Audience,
yeah. And that it's a little piece, but it's big. So the little piece is that in these situations, the feedback that I'm getting from these women is also that, like, they're not looking for anything and that they are cool with the situation and they are like okay with it and they understand the situation. And so when I'm doing check-ins or, whatever, it is mutual. It is like, hey, I know this is happening or whatever, like, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm totally cool. Like, don't get all weird. Like, I'm fine, kind of thing. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. And then it's different. And then it's not how it actually is. And so that's where that timing comes in. That's where that nuance comes in. That's where life happens, where you're like, hey, I thought we're good. And they're like, yeah, don't worry, like, we're good. And it's like, okay. And then it ends up being like, oh, we're suddenly not good. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. So again, I don't feel like, according to the comments and all these things, I don't feel like I'm a liar and then I'm manipulating these people and doing this and that, because in my head, I'm like, I checked in. You said you were cool. I'm cool. We're cool. Like, what? Okay. And then when that balance does shift, then I'm like, hey, what is this?
Mm-hmm.
But again, that's the clarification that needed to happen. And instead, what came off was like that I'm just out here with any woman that even DMs me. I'm like cuddling and taking them on, like vacations and, and making them breakfast and like, that's not what it is. You know what I mean? Like, that's, yeah. And then just like leaving them when they're like, I love you. I'm like, later, bitch. I'm gone. Like, that's not what's happening.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was really hard to wake up every day to people just assuming that they know me, know my behaviors, know my intentions, and know who I am just from like a 60-second video and being like, yeah, fuck this guy. And it's like, cool.
Yeah, but they're saying that because of things that have happened to them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not all about you. Yeah.
And that's hard to separate.
No, it isn't.
Hey, man.
If you're autistic, it's not.
Yeah, that's hard to separate because as someone who has a lifelong battle with acceptance, it's hard to hear when people are like, fuck this guy. And I'm like, but that's really about you. It's like, no, they really mean it. They mean fuck me, and I'm this and I'm that, and like I get it.
Is it a battle with acceptance or a battle with validation? Or do you see a difference?
There is a difference there.
Which is it?
Acceptance is rooted in likability and love. Validation is, I feel like it's more earned.
So if the people commenting would have said the people that commented the opposite, they accept you.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. They don't know you either.
Yeah. That shouldn't matter either. But yeah, acceptance, that's what I deal with. Like, that's one of my biggest things that I deal with is acceptance. Because I was never accepted as a child. And so, that's also goes into people pleasing and all those things. Like, I need you to love me.
No, you don't. You want them to love
I want them to love me.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it's, yeah, so, and also I think acceptance is I don't think it's odd to feel good about acceptance. Like, you're saying like it's a bad thing, but if you felt
That's not what I said at all.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You don't feel like it's a bad thing?
What, craving acceptance?
Not craving it, but feeling good about being accepted.
No.
Okay.
But I think having any relationship to acceptance when it comes to strangers on the internet is odd.
So let's say you put up a poll on your personal Instagram that just said, hey, I just watched fucking Iron Man 8. Worst movie ever. Yes or no? Wouldn't you feel better if everybody or not everybody, but a lot of people voted yes and they agreed with you? Then
No.
You wouldn't feel like,
it's my opinion.
yeah, I got that right. Like,
no,
I knew that was a piece of shit kind of thing. And like,
no, you don't feel that way either. What did you think of Uncut Gems?
that's terrible.
Yeah, everybody else loved it.
Yeah.
You feel wrong?
Sometimes I feel like, well, maybe I'm missing it. You know, if somebody's talking about something and I'm like, oh, maybe I didn't understand it, or maybe I'm missing what makes this great, or something like that.
Oh, yeah, I don't. I'm just like, oh, yeah, I didn't like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I try to figure out.
Hamilton, dog shit. See? And you can bring as many people to me that tell me how great it is, and the song, I don't care. I didn't like it.
Incredible.
Sure. A lot of people feel that way.
So, but you don't have any second thoughts about like, yeah, maybe I'll give it another shot, or maybe I'm missing something, or maybe I don't know why this is so great.
Not because of a consensus. It would have to be somebody that I know, and I know like their taste in art, and that they know my taste. And if somebody was like, dude, trust me, give it a second go through this lens,
Yeah.
I would give it a second go, because I know they have good taste in it. But like, otherwise I don't give a fuck.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, you listen to everybody, and I listen to almost nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People's champ. Yeah.
How's it working?
It's terrible. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Yeah, so it was a really tough. And then I remember I called you, and
You were not doing well.
I was fucking out of my mind.
I think you answered the phone. America's favorite fuckboy.
Yeah, I was really
Yeah.
feeling those comments and stuff. And I was like,
I know you were.
what the fuck is this? And then I sat with it, and I was like, oh, it doesn't matter, because I know that I'm not doing these things that they claim that I'm doing, or that I'm not this person that they think that I am. And honestly, that Snapchat video was the first one that like made me realize like, oh, they don't know what they're talking about. Like, so I was like, again, like, I'm like, these people think I'm out in the world being like, yo, let me get your fucking, like,
Yeah.
are you dumb? Like, what the
Yeah, some of them are very dumb.
I would hate me too. If that was what I was doing, I'd be like, yeah, this guy, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
So, and that's kind of what I took away from it, was being like, oh, yeah, they're only seeing this little percentage.
And also, some people just love to have something to say.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. It was, again, it felt like exposure therapy to like, oh, you want to learn how to not let things go and all that stuff? Great.
Being waterboarded.
Here you go. Yeah, exactly. Here you go, bud.
Can I share a comment that somebody made about me?
Yeah.
I think you were here because it just made me laugh.
Yeah.
But it was the video we put up about when my girl told me that, like, judging just from our clips, if she didn't know me, that she would think I was a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
And some woman commented, yeah, I've always thought this. Who could stand this guy?
Yeah.
Dude, that made me laugh so hard.
Yeah. Now, something like that I could get behind, just like letting it roll off.
Yeah. If somebody said, oh my God, I can't stand him.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, cool.
I feel like that would destroy you.
No, what destroys me is people being like, this guy's a liar. I'm like, I'm not a liar. Like, what? This guy's manipulating people. He knows what he's doing. What?
Yeah.
No, I'm not. Like, don't do that.
Yeah.
But if somebody's like, this guy's a fucking idiot, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
That made me laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who could ever stand this guy?
Yeah.
I looked at her profile, dude. My girlfriend's so much hotter than she is. I was like, bro, shut the fuck up. So funny.
Who could stand this guy?
Yeah.
I think I liked that. I was like, oh, man.
As you should.
Yeah. Fuck this guy.
As you should. Yeah. And you know what? I would laugh at that too.
Yeah. That was what I was talking about on the phone. Like after I was kind of like, oh, man, I want to jump in these comments. I want to do this and that.
Yeah.
I was like, I also talked to you about how it kind of stung that like I felt a little abandoned with your support.
Yeah.
It was just like somebody would be like, red flag for sure, fuck this guy, and you're like, praise hands. Like
I do the engagement.
Yeah.
So yeah, he took that as me shitting on him.
yeah, you're like thumbs up and like being like, hey, that's what I'm saying, and I'm like, that's what I'm saying.
I
Like,
didn't say that's what I'm saying, not once.
well, you know what I mean, like
I
that kind
know.
of stuff, and I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
throw me a fucking bone here. Like these people are
Yeah.
coming for my neck, and you're like, get them.
I was like,
like-
buddy, it's just engagement.
I know, and that's what we were talking about.
As
We're
many
just like,
comments as we can get.
I totally get
Perfect.
it. I know the name of the game.
Yeah.
But it also, I was like,
Yeah.
no help?
Yeah. No, you're
No.
not hurting. There's
Hey,
no
man.
help.
Nope.
And also,
I get it.
we're not going to change anyone's minds.
No, and that's what I had a policy for a long time when I was talking a lot about politics online, where, you know, I called it, I had a policy where I was like, I don't get in the pit. I had a couple friends of mine who's like, either a family member of theirs or their mother or wife or something that would like get involved in the comment section, and strangers on the internet would attack them. And then they would call me and be like, hey, are you going to let this person like talk to my mom this way or this way? I'm like, oh, I don't get in the pit.
Yeah. Right.
I say the thing and it gets engagement, because once you get in the pit, you're never getting out.
Right.
They'll just drag you down into it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I've learned that lesson, and that's why I was able to just like let that part go. Like, yeah, I know you don't get in the pit.
Yeah.
You can't fucking get in the pit, dude.
Yeah.
They'll kill you.
I mean,
You know what I mean? Like you'll never get out of it.
because we have and it's also our no smoke policy.
We also have a no smoke policy.
So when
yeah.
I do feel the need to correct somebody,
yeah,
I have to do so gingerly.
Yeah.
And like I could change their mind maybe. Am I allowed to just start blocking people? Is that allowed?
no, engagement's engagement, man.
Yeah. Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
unless it's like really hateful shit, then yeah, fuck them.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what I took away from all those things. It was like sometimes I could clarify more or better, and other times it just doesn't matter. Again, I could clarify all fucking night. I could answer 200 questions about this, that, and the other, and people would still walk away being like, "Yeah, I told you, fuck that guy."
Yeah. I mean, honestly, fuck that guy. Yeah.
I mean,
I know
yeah,
him really well.
I hate him too.
Are you wearing 2 chains right now?
I am.
I need identity theft protection.
I did it just to make you angry.
Yeah, it worked.
I was wondering how long it would take you.
My God. Shaved head, tattoos, sneakers,
Can I tell you?
and now 2 chains.
Can I tell you that these comments hurt me because you encourage me to do all these things,
Do what?
and then I do them, and then you hold them against
I
me.
encourage you to do what?
Shave my head,
You should.
get more tattoos.
Yep.
You talked me into buying a second chain.
I talked you into buying a new chain because that thick one
It's terrible, I know.
is dog shit. Throw it in the
But
trash.
like all these things that you have encouraged me to do, and then
Here's the
I
thing.
do and I like it, and then you go, "Why are you doing that?"
Hold on. I'll tell you exactly why.
Okay.
You were just honest for the first time.
Okay.
Because anytime you talk about shaving your head,
Hmm.
it's never, yeah, my buddy shaved his head and talked me into it. It's never that. It's some dramatic depression or no, you didn't. I shaved my head. I was like, buddy, this is the shit. You got to do it. And you finally did it. And you liked it. And that's the story.
I did the Dave Matthews, Adam Sandler
I don't know.
shave head.
Okay, I know Adam Sandler. I
That
don't
that
know Dave
level
Matthews.
of
Why'd you do that?
in the pandemic.
Why'd you do that? Why?
During the pandemic.
Why?
Did you talk me into it in the pandemic?
Yeah.
Did you?
The first time I shaved my head when I was contemplating killing myself.
Also, you've tried to talk me into that.
I've not talked you into it. I've just said it's an option. Yeah, I called you up. I was like, buddy, it's kind of this shit. And then it took you like 2 years.
Yeah, I was going to say, it took me years.
Yeah, and then you finally did like the Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
And then you shaved it again for my short film.
I didn't want to. Now that one I was fighting you on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was fighting you on.
Because we were playing the film, you said, yeah, I'll do it. And then it came closer. You're like, well, my girlfriend doesn't like me when I have short hair. So and I'm like, oh, you're not fucking up the whole film. You're going to shave your head like you said you would.
Yeah, you were pretty heated about that.
Yeah. And now you've gone super short, and it's the best you've ever looked.
Sometimes I feel that way. Sometimes
It's true. You look great.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Same with tattoos. Buddy, just get a tattoo. It's going to be dope. And then you got a tattoo. You're like, oh, this is great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Just give a little credit to Daddy for motivation. That's all.
Oh, okay.
That's it. Take that second chain off, though. If you're going to wear 2 chains, you wear 2 nice chains.
I'm getting a third one.
Okay. But get rid of the first one.
What'd you talk about in therapy?
I did tell her I was going to kill myself.
Jesus Christ.
I did. We were talking about feelings.
That's the show.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
We were talking about my fucking feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, okay, but like, she's like, let's talk about like, what are some options to dealing with these feelings? And I said, I can think of one.
No, you didn't.
I swear to God. And she goes, okay. And I go, suicide. She goes, okay, how about a second option? I go, murder-suicide.
No.
And she goes, who do you murder? And I go, my roommate. And she goes, your podcast partner. I go, yep. I go, him, me, dog does not get touched.
Why am I going? I mean, thank you.
You're welcome. Because I'm a good friend.
Yeah, that is good friend behavior. I appreciate it.
You know what? She didn't laugh. She said, okay, how about another option? I was like, give me a laugh at least. What did I talk about in therapy before that? Man, I don't want to talk about it.
You never do.
I know. Man. So as you know, see now that I have this,
there's the wire. There's the fucking wire.
These new headphones with this fucking coil cord.
With your emotional safety cord?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm a fidgeter.
Yeah, you're feeling
and
scrunchy.
Now that I have this, like, yeah, this thing is fucking great. Let's see if I go without it. Fucking with it. As you know, okay, every time I look down at my feet, you really like the painted toenails, huh?
Yeah, I also like this deflection you're doing now. So what were you talking about in therapy?
I painted my toenails for the first time in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell if I like it.
Neat. So
what are we talking about? So here's what's going on.
Yeah.
So I talked on here about my girl's work situation, how she left a job, took a new job, and then was sabotaged out of it.
She got fucked over pretty bad, yeah.
Yeah. So she hasn't been working since, I think she finished summer school in June, so July.
Mm-hmm.
July, August. No, so it's for like 2 months. And so we were just fucking doing whatever we wanted.
Yeah.
It was great. It was my life as it's been since I've been in LA with my favorite person now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ouch.
You're not my favorite person. You know that. You're my second favorite person.
Wow. Okay.
And I got to tell you, the fact that you're now back from the road while she's gone helps a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, that's what I talked about in therapy was her going back to work. As my therapist puts it, I'm longing for her. That's exactly what she said. And you know what I said?
Mm.
And I need you to know that this is a joke if you're listening, but it is what I said. I said, gay. Gay. And she did laugh at that. She's like, you never hear people say gay like that anymore. I was like, I know, it's fun, right? It's just fun.
She likes a good throwback.
She's like, I'm like, I know you can't. I know it like now is a thing that is hurtful. I was like, but it's a safe space in here, so I went for it.
So funny.
Yeah, I was like, "Hey." And she goes, she's like, why is that gay? And I was like, it just like the word longing feels so dramatic.
Yeah,
and like,
yeah.
but like, it's true. I just fucking miss hanging out with my girl, man.
Yeah.
And yeah, it sucks. Like, because yeah, for like 2 months we could just do whatever.
Yeah.
Get up, make some food, go to the gym, come back. Like, I'll knock out some work. She'll do some stuff. Fucking shit. Like, it's just great. And now, like this morning, she left the house at 6:30,
Yeah.
and like, I'm not even up yet. And she's like, "All right, I'm going to work." And I'm like, fuck. I'm just like so sad that she's leaving that early. And like, she didn't get home tonight until 6. Yeah, 6 o'clock. So really what I was talking about with my therapist was that feeling of sadness and like that I guess in a way kind of like grieving those 2 months. That like that's not reality anymore. Like it's gone.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about how that relates to like our attachment. Like, because we built such a strong connection, spending so much time together. And like, bro, I'm not exaggerating. We would at least twice a day would have like wheezing laughing fits.
Yeah.
Over just so much, just fun doing nothing.
Yeah.
And so we were just talking about our attachment and like how just it's like a cold turkey thing. It's like right away, you know, she's gone for 12 hours a day now. And it feels like a threat to our attachment. And yeah, it's just this weird thing that I'm not used to. Like, I've enjoyed spending time with partners before, but spending like the majority of a day with somebody day after day and not being like, you gotta get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
This is the first time that's ever happened. And now that like I miss her during the day, it feels threatening to me. I'm like, oh, I'm losing her.
Interesting.
Even though that's like, my brain knows that's not happening.
Yeah.
She's going to work. But my anxious attachment style feels like I'm losing her.
Yeah, it feels abandoned.
Yeah. Feels threatened.
Mm-hmm.
So then, yeah, she's like, so what can we do about that? And I said, suicide.
Your therapist was like, gay.
Oh, if she would have done that with me, I'm like, all right, let's go. We'll sign on with you for another year. Did I tell you she did give me a timeline for when she's going to be leaving?
No.
Yeah, she's thinking, I think she said like January, February. She's going to, fuck, I don't know, dude. I'm honestly thinking about taking a break from therapy.
Really?
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah.
She's going into private practice, so like if I can afford, I would like to still go into it because I've made really great progress.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like we've stagnated at all. So if I could afford it, I would like to keep seeing her, but I don't know. Try somebody else in the office or maybe just take a couple months off. We'll see.
These feelings of abandonment that you have with her.
Well, you said abandonment. I didn't, but go ahead.
What is it?
A threat to our connection.
Okay. This threat to your connection.
Yeah, let's go on.
You're such a cunt. This is threat. This is threatening our connection.
Yeah.
And do you think it plays into the fact that it was cut off so quickly? Because I think the expectation was that she wasn't going to have a job for a while, right? Like she didn't think that she was going to get picked up this year or be able to find something, and then this kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, this came up
was
pretty
quick.
quickly. She got offered a job 30 minutes after one interview.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, very quickly.
Yeah. Do you think that has anything to do with it, that it feels like a little rushed, or you didn't have any time to prepare, or I don't want to say grieve, but like,
Yeah,
I
probably.
don't know what that is. Yeah.
Probably. I mean, she got the offer, and then she had to do, like, working with school, you have to get, like, fingerprinted and all those things. So there was, like, a week of that process, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think there is some of it to that, and yeah, I don't know. And that's also, that was more of what I was talking about, is like, I feel embarrassed that I feel this way. Like, it's embarrassing for me. I'm like, oh, dude, like, oh, I fucking miss my girl. Like, I feel embarrassed because I feel like I'm being we were talking about parts.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, we were trying to connect with, like, the core. So, like, the compassionate part of me that's like, I enjoy spending time with my girl. And, like, I miss having her around as much. Like, I was trying to find that part, but I could only get through to the parts is like that. I was like, oh, I feel like a little bitch boy. I feel like a needy little bitch boy. And that's the only part I could talk with, was this.
The neediness of it, yeah.
The needy little bitch boy, or the part that is calling the part that is her needy little bitch boy. So whatever programming or, I don't know, something my dad instilled, I don't know, society, I don't know where it came from, but yeah, that when my girl gets up and goes to work, I should be like, all right, she's going to work now and not give a fuck. That's what I think I should do.
Yeah.
And because I don't feel that way, I'm a needy little bitch boy. And it's embarrassing to be a needy little bitch boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you struggle a lot with that neediness, or
I fucking hate to feel needy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is needy in a different way. I don't know if you recognize that or not.
Pick away. I don't give a fuck. Don't like it.
Yeah, but no, but this isn't neediness in a way of like, oh, I need to ask for help for this, or I need a favor. This is neediness in a way of love and compassion.
That's worse.
It's not worse.
That's worse. I'd rather ask you to borrow a pen and be like, I'm sad my girl when you work. I'm doing this to myself right now.
I know. I know.
Jesus.
Shut the fuck up. I think I'm trying to tell you that it's a good thing that you feel these things. These are good feelings.
Yeah.
There are good and bad feelings of neediness. There are good and bad feelings of pretty much everything.
Most
but
things,
yeah. But yeah, you should have pride in that you are somebody who cares about another human so much that you miss them, even at the thought of them going to work for a few hours and coming home. Like, yeah, that's sought after. You know how many couples would love to feel that again?
No.
Or to feel that at all?
Two.
No, man. You know
little,
that.
Little bitch boys out there.
Stop it.
Yeah, she got home today, and, like, we ate food, and then we finally, like, she grabbed a shower, and we chilled, and she got to bed. She's like, God, I missed you today. And I was like, do me too.
Yeah.
So gay.
Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah, okay. I don't know. It's fucking embarrassing, dude. Why is it embarrassing?
I think you are right. I think it's more societal than anything else. I don't think men are allowed to really get in touch with their feelings like that, and it becomes that traditionalism and that societal fucking raining down on us of these ideas of being like, you're the man, you need to be fucking. It doesn't matter if she's gone for 2 months, dude. I don't give a fuck. I'll make food and chop wood and like, okay, those days are done. Those days are fucking gone, man.
I can't chop wood when I'm sad.
That's what I'm saying. Like, those days are gone, man. That idea of you know what a man is and like all these things, that's out the fucking window, dude. You should be proud that you have evolved past that fucking chest pounding of like, I'm not. I don't get sad. Fuck you. Cool, dude.
Yeah.
Enjoy imploding. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Take pride in this.
Okay. I don't know how. She's like, why don't you tell her how you feel? I was like, dude, what?
You're like, that's the murder-suicide
Yeah,
part.
I was like, okay,
I'll
so
confess.
now it's a double murder suicide. Congratulations. Who's going to feed the dog? And I was like, yeah, okay. I'll tell her. And I told her.
And?
We both cried a little.
Good.
No, not good. Very embarrassing.
No.
Cut that out for me. Would you cut that part out?
Nope. I'm opening the episode with it.
Are we done yet?